Hello everyone and welcome to the 4.0, what is it? Combat Medic, that's what it's called. I was going to say Bodyguard there. The 4.0 Combat Medic overview. I forget what the spec is called, and I will be honest with you, I do not know the names of any of the abilities that the Commando has. Look, I mained the Merc for 3 years. And I have no idea. I just put them on the same keybind, and I go, "That's medical pro. There's medical probes, and they're all probes and things like that. But that's rapid scan. That's healing scan. That's emergency scan. That's Colto shell. This is med shot. It's called here. I call it Colto shot. This is progressive scan. This is supercharged. Oh, it's supercharged gas, supercharged cell, whatever. This is Colto missile or instead of Colto bomb. So if we get some of the names wrong, that's why we've got some of the names wrong. Let's go and check it out. Never remember the names of this one, to be honest with you. We've got our trusty rapid scan, or healing scan as it's called, which is advanced medical probe. Ooh, medical probe, advanced medical probe. Medical probe is the one that you get. The one that you get is the base ability now. And Advanced Medical Probe was added in, I think, patch 3.2 or something like that. They changed this. Or 3.3, I think it was. They changed the healing. Quite nice. Advanced Medical Probe does a lot of healing. Our biggest single target heal. Long cast time, but can be eliminated 1.82 seconds. Medical Probe is 1.36 seconds. Costs 18 energy cells. This costs 20 energy cells. Has a longer cooldown. However, cooldown can be reduced by... Can't remember. Where is the thing? Ah, there it is. Bloody hell. I can never remember where these things are. On the thing. There it is. Activating Medical Probe. Grants a charge of field triage, which reduces the cost of our next advanced medical probe by 5 energy cells. Can stack up to 3 times, okay? Don't be afraid to use it when it's not on 3 stacks. You can see medical probe, you get the stack, it reduces the cost of it. 15 it goes down to. Now it's down to 10. 3 stacks will go down to 5. There you go. So 5 energy cells, not bad. For the cost of that, we can then make it instant cast one of them, take up 5 energy cells. Bear in mind our back to infusion is free these days. Free, costs us no energy. So it's quite a nice little healing combination. Makes our advanced medical probe instant cast whenever we cast back to infusion. Our back to infusion is a base ability on this one. We also have our Colto bomb, which fires our missile. A bomb, lobs a bomb at the target, exploding on impact, healing 8 allies in 8 meters for some healing. Also we get Colto residue, which slows the movement speed of 50% of enemies, not of allies, should point out. And Advanced Medical Probe grants Invigorated to its target, so increases healing received by 3% for 45 seconds, which is pretty nice. We want to be liberally using Colto Bomb. Liberal use of Colto Bomb. Only costs 15 energy. Doesn't do a huge amount of AoE healing. You also get Colto Pods, which is a pool of Colto that heals allies for a minuscule amount over 3 seconds. It's not really a great heal, but it is free, and we will take it, and we'll take all free healing. So liberal use of Colto Bombs and Advanced Medical Probe. Get that healing received by 3% for 45 seconds. It's quite a nice little buff there from your Colto Bomb. Your other AoE heal is Successive Treatment. Heals a friendly target for quite a significant amount over the duration. 11k it is on my case. It heals 1 new target within 20 meters each time it ticks. Okay, so it heals up to 4 total targets. Okay, 28 energy cells are used over the channel. It doesn't cost a huge amount of energy realistically. You can see here, not really a lot amount over this channel if you have full energy. You can see here it starts on you and then spreads to the 3 other targets as well. You generally want to put this on the person who has the lowest health, so it will tick for the longest. You see here it starts on Chem, moves on to the droids, and then ends up at me. Okay, I don't know how it spreads though. I don't know if it does spread by whoever has the lowest health. Obviously everyone here has full health because we're not in a combat situation. But, you know, it is quite a nice AoE heal. You always want to put it on the lowest health, because the lowest health will get the full heal. Okay, the second target will get the second most ticks, the final target gets the least amount of ticks. We also get potent medicine, increases the critical healing bonus of all heals by 15%. Our crit healing isn't great, to be honest with you, it's not that great. To be perfectly honest, 15%, it's 5% less than the Scoundrel. Don't tell them about this because they might nerf it. Shit, I better move the mouse away before they do that. We also have our Trauma Probe, which is very, very nice. It's like a smart slow release med pack. This is our Trauma Probe. Put this out on any number of allies. Pain in the arse if you're the only commando in a 16-man op. And it will heal on damage taken. It has 7 charges. You get 6 as the default, and you get Probe Medic at level 52. Gets you 7 charge. Increases the healing each charge does by 5%. Reduces Trauma Probe rate limit by half a second, should we say. Because it can only trigger once every 3 seconds, because now it can trigger every 2.5 seconds. That was a lot to say there. So it is quite nice actually, because it only heals whenever they deal damage. It lasts for 3 minutes, which is quite nice. Lasts for about, I think it's about 3 minutes, is it? Yeah, 3 minutes. Lasts for 3 minutes. Will deplete a charge whenever the target takes damage. It's very, very efficient when it comes to its healing output. Oops, wrong thing. So it's very, very efficient. It's a more efficient slow release med pack. We also have preventative medicine. Back to Infusion applies preventative medicine to the target, healing them for a minuscule little dot over 9 seconds. Again, the dot's nothing special. The hot, should we say, not the dot. Additionally, successive treatment grants protected effect on the target. It heals targets. It heals, increases their armor rating by 10%. For 45 seconds. Again, nice little buffs here. You know, we want to be using our active, I forget what it's called. Back to Infusion and Advanced Medical Probe. There we go. There we go. Back to Infusion, Advanced Medical Probe, and then of course we can get our successive treatment out. We'll give armor rating by 10% there, so there you go. On to utilities now. What shall we look at for the utilities? Again, cell capacitor is pretty nice. Recharge cells, immediately recharges 15 additional cells and grants 10% alacrity for 6 seconds. It's quite nice to have. If we ever run low, we are quite a burst healer. Should point out we are quite a bursty healer. So, you know, we can run low. Gives us 50 energy cells over 3 seconds, so getting an additional 15 is quite nice, and 10% alacrity will help us out with energy regen as well, and also when we have to heal, because generally when we pop this, we're in healing intensive situations. Okay, we're going to be in situations where we're doing a lot of healing, so that 10% alacrity is quite nice. Charge barrier, again, every medical probe builds a charge barrier, increases damage reduction by reduces damage reduction by 1%. For 15 seconds, stacks up to 5 times, 5% less damage. Okay, we are going to be using Medical Probe quite a bit. Okay, so Charge Bolts not so much, but Medical Probe we're going to be using a lot. So 5% damage reduction is quite nice. And Heavy Trooper increases endurance by 3%, who cares? And all healing received though by 3% is quite nice as well. Bear in mind that some of our defensive abilities involve healing us, so helps us out. 3% extra healing. There's nothing else we really want here. Chain Gunnery, we're not going to be cleaving as a healer. Stock Strike, we're not really going to bother with that. Concussion Grenade and Tenacity, if we're getting stunned a lot, maybe. Sticky Mods for PvP, really. Masterful Med Zone, the only requirement. Increase all healing received by 20% when Reactive Shield is up. So that's pretty nice. Nice little healing buff. Advance the Line, again if we're moving around a lot, increases the duration of Hold the Line. Remember, Hold the Line has had its cooldown increased to 45 seconds. So increasing the duration of Hold the Line when we need to move around is quite nice as well. You could argue Combat Shield if we're taking, if we're getting a lot of pushbacks, so we can decrease our activation pushbacks. We don't really get interrupted in PvE. We also have the pushback 70%, so it will go up to 100%. if we use that with steady hands. Also, you could take efficient conversions. It removes the energy cost of concussion charge, concussive round, field aid, and cryo grenade. Field aid is your cleanse, so if we're doing a lot of cleansing, can be useful just to save the energy. Supercharged defense, we're not really going to take. Activating supercharged cell increases defense chance by 15% and grants immunity to interrupts for 8 seconds. Not in PvE, really. Suit FOE if we're taking a lot of dot damage. Generally, we don't want Electro Shield. Generally, Electro Shield, if we want to contribute to damage, which, you know, should we really be contributing to damage as a healer? I mean, it is free damage, but I'd rather receive more healing than do that, and I'd rather be able to get myself into a better position. When it comes to heroic, forced march, all the way, successive treatment can be activated while moving. Very, very nice in case we have to move out of things. Our new ability is propulsion round, generates a smoke screen, which means prevents us getting leapt to, pulled to, makes us immune to interrupts, and then activation pushbacks for 4 seconds. Not in PvE. I like overclock as well. I'll take overclock. Again, it reduces the reduces the cooldown of tech override, should we say? Looking at a concussive round there, and tech override grants a second charge, so we get extra burst healing out of that. We can chain that up nicely with our supercharged cell, which we'll talk about, so that we can get a couple of advanced medical probes out there. We can get like four instant cast heals in a row, which makes us really nice at burst healing. Okay, our new ability, level 64 I should say, increases the healing done by Colto Bomb, Colto Pause, and successive treatment by 5%. Increases all our AoE healing. And the result of this is we are the worst AoE healer in the game. Okay, we are the weakest. Scoundrel is the best, Sage is the second best, and we bring up the rear in third place. We're also the weakest single target healer as well. So we're sit second on the single target. In fact, we sit third on the single target healing. The Sage is number 1, Scoundrel's number 2, we're number 3, and we sit 3. We sit at the back in terms of AoE healing as well. I think we're ahead of the Sage actually. We're actually ahead of the Sage. So we sit number 2 in AoE healing. I forgot about that there. But other than that, so when it comes to gearing your healer, it's actually fairly easy to gear. You've only got 2 choices when it comes to stats: crit or alacrity, and that's it. And you can see where we've placed most of our stats into alacrity. 10% is about the way to go. I think we don't have enough crit really here. That's the big thing. I'm still in the process of converting this from a Shadow of Revan to a Knights of the Fallen Empire. So what we are lacking here, I am going to replace these boots with crit, and I do have 220, you see here, 220 set bonus gear. It was gear from my Vanguard that my Vanguard doesn't need anymore, so I'm going to put this mod and this enhancement in there. However, I'm leveling a power tech at the moment, and we want the fact it's the boots. I'm going to do the boots, should I say, not the pants. I'm leveling a power tech, and we need to keep these at 192 because of course power tech's not level 65 yet, and if I put 220 things in, my power tech won't be able to use them, and I'm too cheap to send them to send her another set of gear really, because this guy's poor. Look at him, he's only at 1.2 million. This guy's pretty poor. Other than that, alacrity, we want at least 10%. We want at least 40% on the crit. I think we probably could achieve that. Certainly putting crit in there. We will drop alacrity. Now I haven't augmented this character. You can see here still 186 augments. So all the augments I think are. Whoops. I want to unequip. I wanted to show you that. So yeah, it's all mastery augments, which isn't the best stat to augment in 4.0. So obviously we're gonna upgrade them to 208 augs. We've got this at 208. This is alacrity. This is the Vanguard's one. This is my Vanguard's offhand, which is crit in it. I've still got my Revanite thing with crit in it as well. That needs to be upgraded and re-augmented. I did win this nice Quick Savant Mark II device with alacrity in it, so that was pretty nice. Implants, we've gone for alacrity. We will go for alacrity in this side, and we'll put more crit in this side. Probably the gloves and the boots will swap out for crit, and we'll swap these in for alacrity. When it comes to augmenting, generally we want to hit We want to hit at least try and get to 11% alacrity. We could get to about, I think it's about 1300 crit we want to be around, so it's going to be a mixture of crit and alacrity. I haven't really looked at the augmenting. I did win a set bonus 216 piece, which is nice. Now your set bonuses do not stack. You can see here we have 6 out of 7 and 1 out of 7. Now they're the exact same set bonus, but they do not stack between resurrected gear and what's it called? What is it in? It's not X-Arcs, it's Defiant gear is the 216. Does not stack, which is a shame. That's why I rolled on that. Yeah, I was doing Dread Palace earlier, and I just rolled on the bracers. No one else wanted them, so I might as well take them. They're pretty decent stat-wise. Obviously, to change the augment in there, but yeah, it's gonna be. We're gonna have to update these now. Keeping the 192 armoring is not a bad idea because the 6-piece set bonus is pretty nice here. Again, we get the activating a healing ability gives a 15% chance to make our next medical probe be an auto crit, which is quite nice. Increases the duration of supercharged gas or supercharged cell by 4 seconds. That's pretty nice. Gives an extra couple of global cooldowns out in that. And reduces the cooldown of healing scan or advanced medical probe by 1.5 seconds. So again, their advanced medical probe is a huge benefit. So we get more advanced medical probes out there in our rotation. So I would always stick with the set bonus. I always put the mod and enhancements in. You know, you got 156 power. It is 138 power. We're losing power here, but you know, it's not too bad a conversion rate. We do want the tertiary stats as well here. When it comes to crystals, crit doesn't really make a huge difference, to be honest, but crit is generally the way to go. DPS is crit, so we'll just stick with crit. Same in the offhand as well. Again, they're only 41 of a stat, so they don't make a huge difference. When you get things like 219 power from a set bonus 220 piece, then you know you get that's what you get. 220. We only get 219. We get from a set bonus piece here. 219. That isn't power augmented. No, it isn't mastery augmented. Yeah, this is a set bonus modern enhancement. 219 power we get, or I think it's 220 or something like that. 229 I think is what you get from a bested slot 224 piece. So 41 power isn't that great. So 41 crit, we might as well have it. We're sort of 35. I mean, 35% is decent for crit. Alacrity 10% is pretty nice. So again, we want to be hitting up both crit and alacrity. So we've no accuracy cap to hit to annoy us as a healer. In terms of healing, it's fairly easy as a merc healer. You've got your big instant cast, your back to infusion. Pretty nice. We can keep that on the target. Once again, it gives the target a small hot. You know, periodic healing. You get your instant cast medical probe, which does big healing. You can put your coltopods out. You should always put your coltopod out before you use advanced medical probe because it's 3% extra healing that you get. So if we do this again, we throw out our coltopod. Well, of course, we're gonna colto shell. I pressed the wrong button there. And use that, and then we get that all. Whoops, that all, and then we can get this off. And as you can see, did we get the buff, or is it a buff on the target? Yeah, invigorated healing received increased. So there you go. You can then advanced medical probe and do more advanced medical probes. You can even successive treatment and give the target 10% armor buff, which is quite nice. And you get the invigorated buff, which again is quite nice. You can also keep your coltopods up. You can see here we can reduce the cost of that. You can refresh invigorate. We want to keep invigorated on the target. We want to keep protected, and we want to try and keep trauma probe up on our target. The trauma probe, 10% more armor is, you know, less damage for our target. Also supercharge, we generally use our supercharge cell. We should explain what that does. Okay, supercharge combat support cell increases healing done by 5% for 12 seconds. Advanced medical probe then has no cooldown and costs 5 fewer energy cells. So what we can do here is, if we get these stacks up, get 3 stacks, just demonstrating here, 3 stacks, pop that, it then becomes instant cast free of energy. It's now free of energy. Okay, so we can make it free. What we can do here with our tech override, with our overclock ability, is pop supercharged cell, pop tech override, pop 2 instant cast medical probes, so we get 2 stacks, and then pop a back to infusion, and then pop another instant cast medical probe. So what we can do is we can chain together 4 AoE, 4 instant cast heals in a row, and we don't have to use them on the same target. We can go between targets. That's what makes us a very good burst healer. Now we want to try and keep those stacks up, so when we're just generally healing, medical probe generally is our go-to. Okay, just keep those stacks up. Okay, get those 3 stacks. Oh my god, our tank's taking a big hit. Holy shit, 2 buttons. Right back up. Okay, and they're right back up, and they're invigorated as well. Of course, so we want to do that as well. We also want to keep firing out our coltopods as well. Keep them out as well. They just do small amounts of healing. You've got your successive treatment. Again, multiple people taking damage. Your successive treatment. It's going to give people a little buff as well. So you get that little buff there. I don't know what happened to the thing. 10% armor rating. It's not a lot, but it does help out. You know, it can help out. So our basic strategy is just nothing else really to hit. We're just going to use our assault cannon thing. What is it? Med shot. It's good for building stacks of supercharge. And the reason we don't take reserve cells basically is because we can just generate outside of combat. We're going to start with 10 stacks of supercharge. Generally when we pull, we're the ones pressing the raid buff. Okay, we're pressing supercharged clarity. It gives 10% alacrity to all raid members. So we're the ones pressing it, unless the tank is going to take a massive whack at the beginning of the fight. Because we could save this, we could sit on this. We're not going to use it on cooldown, we're going to save it for when the shit hits the fan. Okay, you're going to save it for that moment. DPS makes a mistake, something goes wrong, something needs massive burst healing. We're your guys. We might be the weakest overall single target healer, but we are quite nice at burst. The only thing can be an issue is energy management. Can be a bit of an issue with this one, especially if we don't have time to get these stacks up. That's why we generally want to try and keep them up. That's why our first couple of heals are just going to be this kind of thing. We want to keep this up, and then we can go supercharge, pop that off, fire this up, get another 2 out. If we're low on energy, we can then use it on medical probe as well. Does a bit less healing, but again, if less healing is required, then you can use an instant cast medical probe as well. In terms of our mobility, we are quite nice for mobility. We've got these instant casts, which enable us to move. Okay, if we get 4 instant casts, we can move around with our tech override as well. And of course, we can use this on the go. Of course, we can just get this on the go. So we're actually quite good in terms of mobility. Not as good as a Sage, but we are as good, we are better than a Scoundrel. And you can see here we've got our auto crit bonus here. Medical probe will be a crit. Quite nice. Of course, we want invigorated up as well, so we want to use advanced medical probe. Keeping it on cooldown, pretty much. Back to infusion, we want to try and save it for when the shit hits the fan, or someone, you know, a big impact is coming for our tank. Save it. Okay, bear in mind that we can always generate supercharge and finish the cooldown on advanced medical probe, so don't worry too much about that if you have a supercharge up. So you can hard cast a medical probe. There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with it. Obviously you want to try and get, even if you have 2 stacks and oh shit, something's gone wrong, oh shit, I have to do this. You know, you can get away with that. You can get away with it. You don't have to press it on 3 stacks. It's ideal to press it on 3 stacks, but we don't have to. Okay, just bear that in mind. There's no fixed set rotation for a healer. We mostly look at that and go, we're healing along nicely, moving along, everything's fine, we've only got 2 stacks. Oh shit, the tank's taking a big hit! And there you go, we got this, and then we're just going to fill in with a little bit. Oh shit! Oh shit, he's taking another big hit! Shit! There you go. Back to that again. There you go. You can see we can just react to things. You know, or someone, oh shit, someone stood in something they shouldn't have. And you can see there we get our supercharged cell out. It makes us good at reacting to things. We are very good at reacting to damage, as that's what we do best, really. We react to big moments, and saving certain things for that, then it can come in handy, because bear in mind we can finish this cooldown. We can use our tech override. It is only a 40-second cooldown, bear that in mind, so you know, it's not a huge cooldown on this as well, so you can use it liberally as well. We should talk about propulsion round, which is kind of sucky. Jets us backwards. Can be useful if you're doing the cartel warlords and for some reason your tanks are too far apart. And oh my god, your other tank's taking damage. We're healing this tank over here, who's kiting Sunder around. So we're sitting there healing away at this tank, and we're like, oh, healing away. Healing away. Oh my god, the other tank's taking a bit of damage. Ah! Jet over. Heal the other tank. There you go. So there we go. That is the combat, what is it? Combat medic. I was going to say combat specialist, but that would be wrong. Salt specialist is the other one. Combat medic, I always call it bodyguard because I'm so used to the bounty hunter. But this guy has better gear. You know, he's getting there in terms of his gear. But anyway, that is all for this video. So thank you for joining me, and we'll see you again soon. And goodbye.